Brian Joubert is one of only 2 men to beat world champion Evgeny Plushenko in the past year. A silver medalist 1 year ago. Will this be his crowning glory? Canada's Jeffrey Buttle has abandoned the quad, but even without it, he has the quality of a world-class performance. His attention to detail has put the podium within reach. Evgeny Plushenko is the 3-time champion of the world, but the ravages of time have denied Russia's Prince of Skating a night to remember in Moscow. He is the Canadian paradox. Emmanuel Sandhu can be both brilliant and at the same time utterly disappointing. Which Canadian skater steps into the spotlight? All that glitters is gold for Russia's Navka and Kostomarov. Tonight, they'll dance the night away in Moscow. The citizens of Moscow have come dressed up tonight to watch their 3-time world champion Evgeny Plushenko defend his title on home ice. But they will be in for a bitter disappointment. Good evening from Luzhniki Sports Palace here in Moscow. I'm Mark Lee, along with Barb Underhill and Paul Martini. Well, the news is not good if you're a fan of Russian figure skating. That's because the defending champion, Evgeny Plushenko, has been forced to withdraw from this competition because of a groin injury. And Barb, it is a real shame that the defending champion can't skate in his own country tonight.
Well, it's absolutely a devastating blow to be robbed of this moment. But he has very serious issues to deal with, wear and tear issues that could affect his Olympic year, and he really has to deal with them right now. We've seen careers like Ermanov and Stoiko be deeply, deeply affected by groin injury, and hopefully that will not be the case with Plushenko.
Well, Plushenko's misfortune has opened the door to a whole new generation of hungry young skaters, including Stefan Lambiel of Switzerland, who is first after the short program.
And I'm sure many of our viewers are asking just who is Stefan Lambiel of Switzerland. But I'm here to tell you that he's no stranger to the skating scene, as this is his 4th appearance at the World Championships. And last year in Dortmund, he skated well enough to have many people saying he deserved to be on the podium then, where he finished 4th. The men have had a couple of days off, and that's given Lambiel some time to think about becoming the new world champion. And hopefully the pressure of that thought won't affect his performance out here tonight. But should he falter, Brian Joubert of France, currently in 2nd place, the silver medalist from last year, is a fierce competitor and an excellent technician, and he would love nothing more than to move to the top of the podium here in Moscow. But as good a stories as these are, there's an even better Canadian one.
Sure is. Now, with Plushenko's exit, it means that Canada's Jeffrey Buttle is now in 3rd place after the short program. Barb, what advice would you have for Jeff tonight?
Just stick with the very same strategy that has gotten him here. No big risks, just get the jumps done and then go big on the 2nd mark. That's what has him here, and that's why he's in an excellent position to win his very first medal. But remember, he, just like Lambiel, he's untested as a contender, and that's a very different pressure when you're going for a medal. He's got to try to avoid that distraction, avoid thinking about it, just go out there and get his job done.
So Plushenko will not be able to go after his 4th gold medal in World Championship competition, but the competition will be fierce to be his successor. We'll have that, the men's free skate tonight here in Moscow, as well as coverage of the original dance competition featuring Canada's Dubreuil and Lausanne and Wing and Low. And before we get to that, let's bring you up to date with the standings after compulsory dance competition. The defending world champions from Russia, Navka and Kostomarov, are in 1st place. The Americans, the young American team, the Canadian-American combination of Belbin and Augusto of the United States, right behind them. Grushina and Goncharov of Ukraine in 3rd place. The 3-time Canadian champions, Dubreuil and Lausanne of Canada, currently in 5th place.
На льду Marie-France Dubreuil, Patrice Lauzon, Canada.
A legion of Canadian figure skating fans making the Canadian dancers feeling a little bit at home here at Luzhniki, as the 3-time Canadian champions Marie-France Dubreuil and Patrice Lauzon prepare to skate their original dance competition. This team was in 8th place 1 year ago at the World Championships in Dortmund. They were 5th after the compulsory dance.
And they were thrilled with the result after the compulsory dance, because they are very close to third place. They're in a virtual tie with the two teams ahead of them. So this is what they have been waiting for. This is a huge opportunity.
I'm singing in the rain, just singing in the rain. What a glorious feeling, I'm happy again. I'm laughing at clouds, so dark up above. The sun's in my heart, and I'm ready for love. Let the stormy clouds chase everyone from the place.
That opening section just
Come
loaded.
on with the rain, I've a smile.
The critical element here, the opening step sequence.
Down the lane,
Oh, and Mary France
with a
stumbles.
happy refrain. Just singing,
And there's another mistake.
singing in the rain.
Oh,
Another one.
That is a disaster. Shocking. As though after that first mistake, she tightened up and just couldn't get back into the sequence. And that'll be a huge deduction.
Second required footwork sequence in the original dance.
Dancing and singing in the rain.
The footwork sequences in the original dance are where you can gain and lose the most points. They're the most critical element. They'll be extremely disappointed.
Marie-France
Ray and
Dubreuil,
Lausanne
Patrice
falling from
Lauzon,
5th to
Canada.
7th place after the original dance, 6 points away from the podium, entering the free dance competition, doing themselves some damage here in Moscow. At the Luzhniki Sports Palace in Moscow and the 2005 World Figure Skating Championships. Let's go backstage now, and here's Guy with Dubreuil and Lausanne of Canada.
Patrice, unfortunately, little mistake during the middle step sequence.
Yeah, very costly mistake. The rest of the program was really good. Unfortunately, on that particular element, we lost our focus, and I don't know, I did a mistake first, and after, I think Patrice was a little surprised I missed, and then he lost his focus, so it took a little bit of time before we got it back on, and it's a costly mistake.
Go back to focus for the next step, though.
Yeah, that's the only thing we have to do now. Forget about tonight and concentrate on tomorrow, and we'll do better.
No, wish you the best. Love with you.
Now skating.
Canadian skating fans here in force in Moscow, ready to move up this year.
Megan and Aaron came out looking extremely relaxed in this dance. Skated what I thought was a really, really great skate. They had a couple of little unison flaws on this straight line step. But overall, thought it was a strong skate for them.
They look comfortable out there. A lot of times we've watched them compete before and they've looked tight, a little nervous, but they looked relaxed. They really looked like they were having fun with this program.
Swinging low, had a personal best score in this original dance of 55.52 to stay 10th.
For Foxtrot and Charlestown.
The three-time French champions, Isabelle Delabelle and Olivier Schoenfelder. The #1 French team coming 6th place after the compulsory dance.
This team has been extremely impressive all season long. At the European Championships, many thought that this team really should have beat Navka and Kostomarov, the world champions. They didn't have their best skate here in the original dance. You can see a few minor flaws in that step.
And the French champions would finish in 5th, up 1 place from compulsory dance. Now the Americans, the 2-time U.S. champions, Tanith Belbin and Belbin Augusto, took to the ice in 2nd place in this original dance, full of confidence.
And this is the team that really is the only serious challengers to Navka and Kostomarov, and they came out here just so confident.
What we often lose sight of about this team is how young they are. They're just over that 20-year-old threshold. Many of the ice dancers have a good 5, some of them close to 10 years on this couple. And for their age, their maturity, their sophistication, their overall presentation is well beyond where they should be at.
This is the straight line sequence. They often have a problem with the twizzles, but look at these twizzles at the end. They're rate and sync very, very fast as well.
Belbin and Augusto scored a personal best 67.54 points to stay in 2nd place going into the free dance. Here's Galit Chait and Sergei Sakhnovsky representing Israel. In 7th place going into the original dance and with high hopes of regaining the podium at the Worlds.
Throughout their straight line step. And this is the area where you see most mistakes happen. It's the high risk on those steps.
So the Israeli dance team would move up 1 place to 6th after the original dance program. Representing Bulgaria, the silver medalists from 1 year ago, Albina Denkova and Maxim Stavisky. This team was a disappointing 4th after the compulsory dance.
They did not have a very good run-up to this World Championship. She became very ill. It did not perform well at Europeans. She came home from that event, went into hospital, and so their training time leading up to this event was not very good. But yet out here today, you wouldn't know it. I thought they skated a very solid dance.
They said after the dance that they know that they're not challenging for gold anymore. They're just here to have a good skate and then get on to next season, which will be a huge season for everyone.
Denkova and Stavisky with a personal best performance, but still 4th going into the free dance. Elena Grushina and Ruslan Goncharov representing Ukraine. They missed most of their fall competitions, then won a silver at Europeans to get set for this World Championship.
And I thought they skated a really, really nice dance. They really captured the flavor of the Charleston, and in the original dance, interpretation really carries a great deal of weight. It's very, very important.
Huge degree of difficulty through this side-by-side step sequence. That was all on 1 foot from the boards.
Big improvement in this team.
Grushina and Goncharov of Ukraine in third place after the original dance. The World Figure Skating Championships in Moscow. And now the home ice favorites here at Luzhniki Sports Palace, the defending world champions from Russia, Tatiana Navka and Roman Kostomarov. They had a 2.8-point lead going into this original dance competition. They missed the Russian national championships earlier this year when Tatiana came down with the flu, but they have been bang on here in Moscow.
But they have shown this season that they are not invincible, and they're very capable of making mistakes. They've had several performances that have been subpar for them, and I think part of it is the new marking system and the challenges that are put on these skaters to come up with higher and higher levels and degrees of difficulty.
They were defeated for the first time since 2003 at the World Championships at a Grand Prix event in Japan.
Very quick, lightning-like feet through the opening quick step section.
Never know how much I love you. Never know how much I care. When you put your arms around me, I get a fever that's so hard to bear. You give me fever when you kiss me, fever when you hold me tight. Fever in the morning, fever all through the night. Sun lights up the daytime, moon lights up the night. I light up when you call my name, and you know I'm gonna treat you right. You give me fever when you kiss me, fever when you hold me tight. Fever in the morning, fever all through the night.
Straight line step sequence.
Got the feeling that it's something.
Good unison so far. Probably the best we've seen them skate this dance all season.
Well, there's no better time to do your best stuff than at the World Championships, and it's a sign of a true champion.
Navka and Kostomarov of Russia. First after compulsory dance and first again after original dance. The original dance counting for 30% of the overall mark here at the World Championships. Well, a happy crowd here at Luzhniki tonight, watching the defending champions maintain their lead over the field in ice dance competition. And so here are the overall standings now heading into the free skate. The defending champs still in front, but less than 5 points ahead of Belbin and Augusto of the United States. Rushina and Goncharov of Ukraine in third place right now. The top Canadians, Dubray and Lausanne, in 7th place overall after the original dance, and Wing and Low sitting back in 10th, the same place they were after compulsory dance.